look at me. I look like I'm getting ready to go on vacation. I'm very well. I'm announcing spring. Spring is here. Spring is sprung, the grass is riz, wonder where the birdies is. Welcome back to TGIF. We're all the way live tonight. My guests tonight are actor and founder of New England Actors Theater, Jerry Prell, and comedian and Toastmaster, Vinnie Banda. We're going to take a quickie break, and we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, all right. Do you like the new do? I just had it done this afternoon. See, it's like short on the sides, and it's so stiff we could, no, really, a UFO can land on it, it would still stay this way. It wouldn't move. My first guest is an actor. He's the founder of the New England Actors Theater, but you may know him as Dr. Hank Steele on The Young and the Restless. Won't you please welcome Mr. Jerry Prell?
Oh, that's me! Yes. Hello, America!
Welcome.
Hi there.
Hi there. Hey there, hi there, ho there.
How you doing? Don't think of me as a guest. Think of me as a friend.
As a friend. And what a friendly friend.
Yes.
We've been chatting before the show started about the things you've done. You've got a resume that's, you know, like 10 miles long, and you've done all kinds of
5 miles wide.
Yes.
As big as Rhode Island.
Yes, and we're going to show some clips later on from some of the things that you've been involved in. But what you're here tonight to talk about, at least to some extent, is your new love, your new project.
My new love,
the New England Actors Theater.
Don't let my wife see this, please.
Well.
My new love, please. New England Actors Theater. Yes, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
New England Actors Theater, it's a new theater company. It's centered down near New Haven. Mm-hmm. And it's really just a lot of fun. We run classes. We're going to be doing our first production called An Evening of Domestic Chaos. So a lot of you out there will probably be able to relate to it. And it's an evening of original one-acts. Actually, the one-acts were contributed by some notable writers. One of them being Charlie Peters, who wrote the screenplay for 3 Men and a Little Lady. And also one of the writers is the niece of Ernest Hemingway, Hillary Hemingway, and her husband contributed something. And plus a couple of local writers from New Haven area, Susan Mendelson and Lisa Humbertson, both Yaleys. So maybe we'll get Big Bill Clinton. Yeah. The Prez will come up and see us, because, you know, it's kind of a Yale thing, you know.
Yeah. So now through this, you're giving, you know, local actors the opportunity.
Yep.
To get, you know, some good, solid, practical experience. Mm-hmm. Now, when you first got started, what kind of things did you do? How did you know that you really wanted to be an actor as opposed to other things?
I failed at everything else I did. No, I know.
Fair enough.
No, I don't know. I think you just know you want to do it, and I think I went to college and I was a business major, and that lasted all of one semester, and then I got involved in plays and stuff, and I had been doing plays in high school. But it got serious when I was in the department, and I wanted to really get a good education, so I said, ooh, if I'm going to really want to be an actor, I should go to a school that offers you a terrific education for that. So I transferred and went to Carnegie Mellon University, which has a pretty good reputation. It's the oldest drama school at a university in the country, and a lot of very prominent and successful people in business went there. And I went there and I got a pretty good education.
Now that's not an easy place to get into, so you must have been pretty impressive even back.
Oh boy, I was hot stuff.
No, I mean, what did they make you do? I mean,
to get in?
Yeah, to get in.
Oh, you had to do all kinds of ridiculous things. We had to go in and sing Happy Birthday. We had to go in and do like 5 push-ups. You know, it was like getting into the military. You had to do a monologue in front of a panel of people. They frightened you, and you had to do improvisation and all kinds of just bizarre things before they would let you in. And then they ask you, you know, would you come here, you know, for 4 years and stay? And yes. And then once you're in there, then they really try to scare you, and they put you, you know, get put on probation. You know, if you don't live up to your, you know, your potential, they do all kinds of things that scare you.
Like what? I mean, like...
Well, they put you on probation. You get put on double probation. You know, the next move is, you know...
What is double probation?
I don't know. I never got that far. I never found out.
Well, you were a sterling student then.
I was...
Scared.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Now, you've done... I was looking at your resume. I should hold up the headshot too, but I won't do it. Maybe I'll
do I have my hair on that one?
Well, look.
Let me see. No, I know. Well, no. That's... Yeah. You can hold it up. I mean,
well, I think it's a very good shot.
It kind of looks like me.
Let's get it. Yeah. Dashing. Very
kind of serious. They call that the theatrical headshot.
As opposed to what?
As opposed to a, come back to me, I'll show you. This is the commercial headshot.
Oh, smiling.
Yeah.
Okay. So the theatrical is the serious.
Serious. I'm a serious actor. This is my serious. This man is a serious actor. Thank you. So.
Now, look at this. Okay, you've done tons of television things. You've done motion pictures. You were in Defending Your Life.
Yes, I was.
It's a recent film. I saw that. That was
Yes.
a very, very nice movie. And all the stage productions and whatever. What is it about, let's talk about television first. Okay, what do you like about doing television? Other than, of course, it's a good paycheck and residuals and all the kind of things that go with that. For you,
What do I like about TV?
Yeah.
You know, and this is a question that's always asked me, and I hate it.
Well,
I hate it, Jeff. I hate it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can pass.
No, let me put it this way. I think, you know, I like to act, and it doesn't matter where it is or what it is. I just love acting. I love the challenge of it, and I love the being able to create a character, and I love the idea of sharing this creation with an audience, whether it's, which camera's on? None of these cameras are on. Where's the red? Used to working in the soaps, so at least tell you where it's on. You know, at least, you know, in TV, it's great, and on stage it's great, but it's all different. It's all different approaches in how you approach it. I think most actors like the stage the best, just because it's a live audience and you get some kind of a immediate response from it. Whereas, you know, in films, you know, and like in Defending Your Life, you know, all you're trying to do is make, you know, Albert Brooks laugh. So, you know. And then if he doesn't like you, he fires you because it's his movie. No, but, and then you get cut, so you don't never make it onto the screen. But, you know, I just like acting. I like the process of it, and I just enjoy it.
Now, it was through acting that
Yes.
you met your wife.
So I met my wife, yes.
Yes.
That's a funny story. Let me tell you the story. I was...
We like funny stories here.
I was doing a play in Copenhagen, Denmark, at this theater. I didn't have to speak Danish, but it was an American-speaking theater. And I had gotten this job there, and they flew me over. It was a wonderful deal. I couldn't refuse. And I was doing a two-character play called Do It for One. And I was playing this psychiatrist in his 50s, and I had this big beard, and you know, did all the age lines and everything. And after the play, they had this kind of a discussion group. I'll try to make this go fast. And she came in and she sat down. We have lots of time. She came down and she sat next to me, and we were talking in this group. And you know, I had been there a couple of weeks, and I wanted to meet some Danish women because, you know, you hear things. And and there was something in the air. There was, you know, love is in the air. You know, there was something there. And we didn't talk to each other in the discussion group, and then the discussion group was over, and she got her things on, and I was getting my things together, and there was kind of this tension. Well, is he going to talk to me? Am I going to talk to her? And then the actress that I was working the play with came over and started to talk to me. And I was like doing one of these things. Yeah, we'll talk about it. No, yeah. And then, you know, it was like, yeah, okay. And as I was doing this, Marianne, my wife, got up and walked through the door.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was terrible. And I sat there. I was going, oh,
Missed
what am I
your
going
big
to do?
chance.
Yes, this is awful. And I sat there probably all of what seemed like, you know, an eternity. And I did something I've never done before. I had never done and will never do before, because that was the first time I did it, and the last time. I chased her. I went after her. I grabbed my stuff, put on my coat, flew my scarf around my neck, and just went out into the kind of balmy, foggy Danish night, and was hoping that I would find her. And there she was, standing in front of the theater, waiting for me. So, and then I said, well, you know, we had this little conversation, and I said, well, can I walk you to your train? And she said, sure. And she went, I was going to actually go that way, and she said, I'm going this way. Oh, I'm going that way too. So I'll go with you. And we had a little conversation, and she's probably thinking, who is this stupid American actor? I mean, what is he talking about? And I conned her into having a beer with me, and then I walked her to her train and shook her hand and got her phone number, and the rest is history.
Ah.
Yeah, we married 9 years this September.
Ah.
Here, 9 years.
That's great. That's a good story.
Yes.
That's a good story. Okay, now you got married. Now you lived in Los Angeles.
I lived in Los Angeles in the urban metropolis for 11 years.
Whoa.
Pounding the pavement. Look at the shoe. Look at it. Showing my shoe to Litchfield County. See my shoe.
Get a zoom in.
See the shoe, worship the shoe.
Yes.
Yes. Now,
Oh, I love my shoe. I'll take it off here. My shoe is here. I love my shoe. It's seen a lot of miles. Hello?
Oh,
Maxwell Smart, yes.
Okay.
Oh, Chief.
Being
Chief.
silly. Now they're going to think all actors are ridiculous. We're gypsies. Yes.
Gypsies. Now, where is that expression? I mean, is it because you have to move around so much?
Yes, because they moved around Europe in whatever century it was and they spread disease. And so that's why they don't like actors. Okay.
No, but
See, we are back.
No, actors. I mean, are lovingly referred
feel
to.
like I'm
they refer to
slouching.
themselves as gypsies.
Yes.
And all that. I mean,
It's because they kind of go from town to town and kind of will act anywhere they can. I went to Denmark for 4 months and did that thing.
do you find that it's hard to feel grounded when you have to travel that much? Is it hard to call any one place home, or to look at the place that you want to call
I think it's
home?
hard to call any job work, you know, because it's kind of you do it and it's done either in a day or in a couple of weeks, and then, you know, you get your check and you go, oh, hell, I'm out of work. I got to go find another job. And that's what it's like to be an actor, you know?
Yeah, I have a friend in LA who's an actor, and he has told me the same story. Essentially, he's already booked himself 4 or 5 years ahead of time, doing things all over the country. You know, musical things here, and doing commercials here, and doing this and that and the other thing. And he often says, "I don't know where the next meal is coming from." But then he says, "I wouldn't have it any other way." So he truly, I would say, loves his art.
Yeah.
You have to be really dedicated to deal with that uncertainty.
Yeah. Dedicated or really stupid. I mean, it's, you know. Yeah, I mean it does take a certain amount of dedication, and the kind of the people out there in Litchfield land should, and who want to try to do this, have to think about that. There's an incredible commitment involved with the arts, the performing arts, because you do, first of all, most of the time you're working at night.
Right.
You rehearse in the day, work at night, or rehearse at night and work at night, and you have to have a family that's understanding. You know, I knock on wood that my wife isn't in the business. She's a nurse, and that kind of balances it out, because I kind of have this career that's kind of just all over the place.
Right.
You know, whether I'm traveling to New York or I'm doing something in Connecticut, or directing this show, that Domestic Chaos that I'm doing now, or yeah, it takes a lot of commitment and dedication, and you have to be prepared for that.
Do you think it's more difficult if you have 2 people in the family that are in the same field? Let's say your wife was an actress.
Well,
What kinds of things do you think
I
you'd run
can't.
into?
I don't really want to comment upon that, because I'm not in that situation. And I think a lot of times I've seen, I have friends who are both in the business, and it works out fine. Then I have other people who have been in the business, and they are Splitsville. It's kind of like that.
So the chances, are just as good
It's
as...
well, it's like Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. I mean, tomorrow you'll see in the newspaper, Paul and Joanna split. All right.
Was clairvoyant. Okay. Now, what kind of advice? I asked you about this earlier. What kind of things would you recommend to someone who is, let's say, they've done the first few steps. They've gotten into community theater.
Okay.
They've done community theater, and they feel that they've, been fairly accomplished, let's say, and they're now looking to step beyond. They're looking to make that first professional step. What kind of advice would you give to that person if they came to you?
I would say get some good education, because you need tools. Just like a plumber needs tools, an actor needs tools. You need a technique to get you through. You need to know how to audition. Of course, you need to get one of these. And in the beginning, all this stuff, this kind of stuff that fills up the back, really doesn't matter.
Right.
You need one of these, of course, a picture, which is your calling card.
Right.
But find an attitude that's going to keep you going, and find some goals for yourself. Place some long-term goals and short-term goals. By this date, I'm going to have enough money to get pictures taken, or by this date, I'm going to audition for some professional things, or by this date, I'm going to try to find an agent. So if you think of it more like a business, or so, what's going on here? Christy is giving you some kind of a...
Yes.
Your producer, Christy Bennett, is trying to give you some kind of sign.
It's Mick Bennett.
Oh, Mick
Mac
Bennett. Mac Bennett.
Yes, like Mick.
that Mac Bennett?
Like,
Thank you.
Yes.
We're going to have a commercial soon.
We are.
Yes,
And then we're going to
yes.
come back and maybe see some clips from
Yes. I would like that.
in my befuddled career.
Would you like
Thank
that?
you. I would love that.
That would be wonderful.
Then I can talk about it. We can make fun of the people on those shows.
Excellent. Well, having said that, why don't we take a quick commercial break?
A quick one.
And we'll be back with Jerry Prell.
All right.
Oh, no.
Yes. I'm back. Now is the show and tell time on the show. We're going to show and tell. We're going to show some posters. We're going to show some clips. We're going to talk about projects. What? Just so many things. What do you want to do first?
I'm busy. First of all, I'd like to give this a big plug. This is the, can we get in this?
One way.
Can you get in? Where? Which camera are we going to do? Oh, here we go. This is the Art Space Small Theater Festival, which I am co-producing down in New Haven. And this is a first time we're doing this. It's companies from Connecticut, one from New York, 18 companies in 4 days.
Oh, wow.
The 15th through the 18th. It's a buffet for theater goers. And on Saturday morning, on the 17th, we have a children's mini festival, and the tickets are $5. And if you're interested, please call ArtSpace at 772-2377 on Audubon Street in New Haven. Oh, I know I should have cleaned my fingernails. 772-2377, and you see there's all the date, and all these wonderful companies are going to be performing there. And this was inspired by an article I saw in the New Haven Register, and about small theater companies. I didn't believe how many small theater companies there are in that area or in the region. It's great.
Connecticut is just...
Connecticut is really the state for the arts.
Well,
State of the arts.
Then we are in the right place.
Yeah.
Now.
So that's happening. That's happening soon. So be there. Be there.
Be there.
Be there at the Art Space Small Theater. And that number again, for all of you at home, is 772-2377. From April 15th, which is a Thursday night, through the Sunday the 18th. 15th through the 18th. Okay, and we will... Thank you,
Yes.
David Letterman.
Now,
all right.
now.
Do you want to show a clip, and then we can talk about domestic chaos last.
Oh, okay. All right. So we have some clips. Yes.
Let's see some clips.
Okay. Now the first clip that we're going to see, as I understand, is a clip from an episode of Hooperman.
Hooperman, and I have my hair on in this.
You have your hair on.
I am not John Ritter. I am the other guy with the hair.
Okay. Can we go to that clip?
Did I mention I'm a cop?
Did I mention I'm divorced? I got an ex-wife with a filthy rich boyfriend who buys the kid anything she wants. I just put a smile on her face with a $14 dog. Outside of the fact you're on, you haven't got a chance in hell of getting it back.
I'm sure we can discuss this.
Sure we can. Lost, found. And
Oh my God! Well, that was beautiful.
Double cut.
Yes, that was. Yes.
Never knew.
Who's directing this show? Hiram. For soap operas. Okay.
Yes. Yes. You make.
I'll never be back
You
again
make
to
me
Litchfield
laugh.
Land.
Oh, I hope you-
Litchfield Land. Here we are.
Yes. Now.
This is what 11 years in Los Angeles does to you.
Oh my God. Well, that would explain it. Well, now, the next clip that we have that we're going to look at is from The Young and the Restless. And you were in that show for 8 years?
8 years. I was recurring as Dr. Hank Steele.
And what
I did
kind
all.
of things?
I did all kinds. I did quadruple bypass surgery.
Yeah.
I removed a harpoon from Victor Newman's groin, which made him impotent, which really pissed off his wife. And I saved, what's her name, Catherine Chancellor. She got shot with a bullet. There were bullet wounds, everybody. I was a jack of all trades.
Just whatever it was,
Yeah.
you could take care of it.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't do was hysterectomies. That was another doctor.
Oh. Well,
Pull up beneath you.
you have to have specialists.
Yeah,
or something.
I was, really.
So let's take a look at The Young.
Dr. Hank Steele. This is one of those tense moments.
Dr. Steele, this is Mrs. Abbott's mother, Elizabeth Foster.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. What have you been told about your daughter's condition?
Well, not much. I know she's been hurt awful bad.
Yes, I'm afraid she is.
I got here as quick as I could.
Well, you're here now, and that's all that matters.
I brought Jill's boy with me. I got the feeling that he ought to be here.
I think that was a good idea.
What can you tell me about Jill's situation?
Well, your daughter was brought in here suffering from a severe loss of blood. She was in shock, unconscious. We've done some surgery, removed 2 bullets, checked her lungs. We also had to remove her spleen. There's some kidney damage as well. We seem to have controlled the bleeding, but as of yet, we can't seem to stabilize her.
My dear Lord.
We're doing everything we can, Mrs. Foster.
Has she come out of it, though?
No, and I can't guarantee anything.
What are Jill's chances?
I'm just very glad you're here.
You're telling me you don't have a lot of hope for my daughter?
There's always hope, Mrs. Foster.
Oh my! I watched that clip, and that's.
Truly a touching moment.
They were laughing. Can you believe it? They were laughing in the studio.
Well, yes,
that was
we
my
were.
career, and they were laughing.
Well, we weren't laughing at you.
Yeah.
We were laughing with you. You were laughing too.
Yes, it was quite silly. The stuff. It was always, Dr. Steele, what do you mean by that? You know, and I had to go
Organ
into,
cord would come
yeah,
up.
I had to go into this long explanation. It was great. It was a lot of fun. That was a big challenge, that part. I have scars on the insides of my cheeks from biting, you know, from trying not to laugh. Or, you know,
Now, okay, now let's talk about soap opera for just a second, okay?
Yeah.
Soap operas now, as I understand, I don't really know, you can educate me
Okay.
on this,
Yes.
are videotaped, and you do have the opportunity to edit things out and whatever before they actually go on the air. But in the old days, weren't they like live?
They were live.
Every day, you
They
had
were.
to memorize, you know, a half hour to an hour's
Yeah.
worth of script.
Well,
and go
only a
on
half
live.
hour back in those days.
Yeah. Now, even with the opportunity to edit, that's a lot of memorization.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you do it? Better question, how can I do it? Because I'm
Well,
horrible at memorizing script.
Jeff, I'm going to pay you $5,000 a week. Will you memorize a script?
Yeah.
He would do it.
Yeah, I think that would probably be incentive.
No, you know, memory, you know, people ask, you know, you always get that after you do that show, you know, that long monologue in like Richard III, and some little old lady goes, how did you memorize all those lines? Well, you know, memorization is a muscle. People don't really understand that. But, you know, the more you do it, you're training yourself to do that type of a thing, to memorize.
So
Which just a thing you can train yourself to do. It gets easier. When I would be off the show for a while and then come back, was like the first couple of days I was like, you know, holding the script on to the very last moment, you know, holding it for dear life, you know, give me the script. No, I need the script. Say, no, you can't go on with the script. But, you know, after about a week, you know, you just go in and kind of look at it, and it take you a third of the time to memorize the lines, and you'd get them all in the right order, which they like.
So it really does get easier.
Yeah.
Now, do they ever keep the outtakes, the bloopers, and like show them for fun? Do you ever have like parties where they?
Oh yeah, I had some embarrassing things happen. I had this one time where I was talking to somebody on the phone. It was that detective who's on the show, and he was like calling me about a case where somebody got shot, and I had been thinking I'd been looking for some new representation, and I got on the phone and I said, listen, I don't care what you say. Now, don't talk to me. I have to get back to my agent. And I hung up. I couldn't, you know. And the thing is, I didn't realize I had said it. I was supposed to say, I'm going to get back to my patient. And I walked away. And all of a sudden, I kind of hear this you can hear over the intercom to the booth, kind of this little laughter, this, you know, this and then I realized what I did, and I kind of went and I hid. It was really embarrassing. So, but I've had other really weird things happen to me as my life as an actor. I actually was in this big outdoor drama, you know, with like 1,200 people in the audience, and I was riding this horse, and I was playing this historical figure, John Heckwelder, and it was in Ohio. And I was riding this horse, and I had big news from George Washington, so the Indians wouldn't go at war, you know, with the settlers. And I was going, yeah, yeah. Well, this horse had done the show like 3 years in a row. So he like knew his cue and everything, and the house was packed. It was the biggest house of the summer. And we hit the stage, and I'm going, here, here, you know, at a full decanter, and the horse is supposed to be going and going. And the horse sees the audience, and he goes, oh, I'm going to take my moment. And so he's kind of stops and just starts walking in. And I'm going, here, come on, boy, George Washington, here, here. It was embarrassing. Everyone's laughing. 1,200 people laughing at you. It's a big historical drama.
That's the beauty of life.
That's why you don't want to get into this business. It's humiliating.
No. Now, we only have a few minutes left.
Oh.
But we have a couple more clips that we want to show.
And I want to talk about
And you want to talk about
domestic chaos.
Would you like to talk about that first?
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that quick.
Okay, domestic chaos.
Domestic Chaos is our first production, is the premiere production of New England Actors Theater. Can you see that? Actually, this is the one with the order form on it. And it's May 6th, 7th, and 8th. 13th and 14th. And this is all original material that's been contributed by wonderful writers to us. And the theme is domestic chaos. It's 7 one-acts. based on that theme. And it's 8 o'clock down in New Haven. And if you would like tickets or would like to make a reservation, please call 458-7671, and that is in the New Haven area. So for all you in Litchfield land, you will dial 1. But come on down. It's a wonderful one before that. It's a wonderful show, and it's all kinds of styles of theater. There's a farce, and there's a drama, and there's kind of this far out esoteric absurdist stuff, and it's just it's a lot of fun. It's a very interesting evening, and we have a company of 16 actors who are working with us, and all the people are volunteering basically to do this. So it's really wonderful. Our first production, we're very excited about it. Let's see some more clips.
Yes, we have a couple more clips from Hill Street Blues and The Judge.
The Judge.
Yes.
I was leaving her place.
What are we seeing first? Hill Street Blues.
You want to keep it till we get in the car?
Yeah, I gotta be at my... I asked you out plenty of times, and I never heard more dumb excuses. Maybe
No
you wanna watch
gas
some
cap?
television.
That's a violation.
No, I gotta get some sleep. Violation? I really had the hots for you, Luce. Buddy, please. All I did was turn against the light.
Oh, almost popped into The Judge.
Yes.
The Judge.
Yes.
Are we done? Are we finished?
Are we done with that clip? Are we going to do the clip?
Do I have to go home now? I have to drive?
No,
3
you
hours?
don't.
Back to
Clinic
the shore?
dispense birth control information without the consent of a parent?
No, they don't.
You sound pretty sure of that. This is defendant's exhibit number 1, the parental consent which you used to get your appointment with Dr. Trent. Can you please identify the signature at the bottom of the form?
Al Nakamura, my father.
If I may, I'd like Mr. Nakamura to examine the signature, Your Honor.
Very well.
You don't have to do that. I'm the one who signed that form.
So you forged his signature.
Yes.
And so you lied to the staff of the Rossmore Clinic from the very beginning, is that correct?
That doesn't change the fact that they didn't tell me I would need a different size diaphragm.
Miss Nakamura, we have already established that you lied to get what you want. Isn't this entire case just another example of your lies?
No, it isn't.
We only have your word for that. And where is the proof that you used the diaphragm every time you made love?
I'm telling the truth.
With your record of lies, Miss Nakamura, how can you expect us to believe that?
Oh, what a creep.
My God.
Roscoe Hellman. Watch him on Lowell Cablevision on USA Network on The Judge.
The Judge.
Maybe they'll send me another residual check now.
Yeah. You put her through hell.
I did.
And you liked
He was a
it.
serious guy, yes.
And you liked it.
Yes. I play all these kind of creeps sometimes. Sometimes I play creeps. Sometimes I play nice guys.
Nice guys. What are some of the nice guy things you've done? Parts that you've really just liked them. You would have probably done them for free had you had the opportunity. Think about this carefully.
That's another question I hate. Which was your favorite role? It's,
I don't want to.
I know that isn't the way you put it, but it's like, I like to, go back to the beginning, I like all the stuff I do. Some of it I probably do better than others, but it's all a challenge, and I get satisfaction out of every character. I think the evil ones are the most fun. I think, the reason I was on The Young and the Restless for so many years is because I planned it that this character, Dr. Steele, had a chip on his shoulder. You carry the weight of the world on his shoulder. Because I kind of looked at the soap operas, I say, oh, what kind of character do they bring back all the time? Or what kind of character has lasting power, staying power? And it's the kind of the serious, intense character. And it's funny, on that show, The Judge we just saw, this guy actually got married. He turned out to be a nice guy. He got married on TV. I was married on national TV. It was great. By The Judge. And I married a woman who was also an attorney on there. And we're married. And
He had, of course, the big prenuptial thing, that part of the show.
Yeah, it was an agreement. It was a prenuptial agreement segment. Kidding. All right.
Well, I want you to know it's been a joy. I've really just had a... No,
Is it over?
It's almost over, yes.
I have to drive back. Wait a minute.
No. You don't have to drive back yet. You get to stay for the rest of the show.
Oh, I get to stay. You have a stand-up comic coming next.
Yes, you
have a wonderful comic coming on.
Yes, you get to meet Mr. Vinnie Banda, as will the rest of our television and studio
like that.
audience. We're going to take a quick, maybe not so quick, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, I don't know. They never tell me. Commercial break, and we're going to be right back with Vinnie Banda.
Hey, hey!
All right, Vinnie!
Come on. Yes. And the hair holds up through the whole show. I'm telling you, you can knock on this and it's like, boink, boink. My next guest is a local comedian, funny person, Toastmaster, master of ceremonies, does it all, and makes us laugh. Won't you welcome Mr. Vinnie Banda? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Good.
Thank you for covering for me, by the way, Doc. I appreciate that.
Boy.
I was a little late. I was a little late getting here. Did I tell you what happened?
No, what?
Oh, jeez. I saw a guy run over the Easter Bunny on the way up here.
What?
It's terrible. It was horrible. This guy, honest to God, the guy hit them. I pulled up behind him. He pulled up to a restaurant up here in Litchfield.
Right.
I pulled up alongside of him. I said, where are you going? I said, don't you realize you just run over the Easter rabbit on the way up here? He says, no, you're full of baloney. I said, I'm not kidding. You just run him over. He says, well, what are you going to do? That's life. I said, you can't just leave it like that. I said, the thing's all busted up and bleeding on the side of the road. You got to go help it. He said, I don't even know where it is. I said, come on, I'll show you. I'm going to be late for Cable 5, but you can't just leave it. You got to help it out. So I took him back in my car.
Yeah.
There was this rabbit, all busted up. Easter rabbit, all busted up and bleeding on the side of the road. We were standing there looking at it for a few minutes.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the guy reaches into his bag and he pulls out this bottle.
Yeah.
Pours about 4 or 5 drops on the rabbit.
Yeah.
After a couple of minutes, the Easter Bunny jumps up in the air, shakes himself off, waves to the guy, hops about 4 or 5 hops, turns around, waves again. Another 4 or 5 hops, turns around, waves again. This keeps going on until he runs off into the woods. I told him, I said, wow, that stuff is terrific. What the hell you got in that bottle anyway? He said, oh, it's a hair restorer with a permanent wave. So kids, don't worry. Don't worry, the Easter Bunny's coming.
Easter Bunny will be as scheduled. Oh, that's good.
Ooh.
That's a good story.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
Yeah. And it's a good excuse for being late because you had to help the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, so there you go. So when the Easter Bunny comes to your house this year, kids, you can thank me.
Now, when you're not in your car coming to visit us over here at Cable 5, what kind of things do you do?
You mean funny things, comedy things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've been doing stags. I've been doing comedy probably most of my life. It started, in school. I got bounced out of a lot of classes just for having fun.
You were the class clown.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't voted class clown. But I was second runner-up.
Oh, well, okay.
But I've always enjoyed putting a smile on people's faces. If I could do that full time, I'd give up everything else that I'm doing and just do that full time.
Can I pay you to come live with me?
Sure.
And my family?
Does it pay $5,000 a week? I'll remember my life.
Now, okay. Now, for the innocent of mind and heart, what is a stag party?
A stag party
And
is...
I'll tell you why, because I've only been to one and I don't remember it. So,
oh, you've been to a different kind of a stag party.
no doubt.
What I do is, I do a comedy routine at a bachelor party for a fella getting married. I also do roasts. I'm into the roasts more now than I just the stags, because they're a lot more fun. You can have, you get information about the person.
Yeah.
Okay, and I build it into a story. I start from day one, the day he was born, and work right up through.
Sort of like This Is Your Life, sort of stewed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get the information that they give me and some of the information that I have, and I put it together so that the story has a nice flow to it. But they're a lot of fun, and we have a good time. I just did a Jack and Jill Saturday night, and last week I was at Waterbury Extended Care. They did a variety show, a karaoke show for the patients there.
Did you sing along?
So I helped out, not very well, but we raised out. We cut up a little bit and had some fun. Everybody had a ball.
Yeah.
I did a judge. I was the judge for the jail and bail. That's fun. $1,000, $2,000. That's a lot of fun. No, yeah. They can't say that. What can they say? You can give them all kinds of fines.
Yeah.
As long as they're not police officers. And they wait for me to drive back in town.
Yeah, those you let off the hook. Now, how did you get your start in doing, the jail and bail and things like? I mean, obviously, word probably got around. This guy's funny, and he does this, he does that. But now, this is sort of like your second career.
Yes.
Okay, so during the day, what do you do?
I sell copiers and fax machines for American Copy Service Center in Waterbury.
Well, that's as related to comedy as you can get.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, I was doing radio before the copiers.
Yeah?
I was at WWCO for 3 years, selling radio and doing a show on Saturday mornings, just raising hell, having fun.
Yeah?
You know, yeah. Just, it's, I had a very unique show. I don't believe that people, if people want to hear music all the time, you can play tapes. And if you want to hear, you know, a professional jock say, you're listening to 4 records nonstop. I mean, you know, you can, you know, Village Idiot can do that. You don't have to. I maintain that people want to be entertained.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, radio is the theater of the mind. Use it that way. Have fun with it. I used to use sound effects, you know, like a knock on the door, a shell, a whistling shell come through the room.
Yeah.
Things like that, yes. But you can picture that. That's funny. If I said to you, hand me that piano, it works on radio.
Yes, it does.
Now picture this. Hand me that piano. Now, you ever hear a current affair? A current affair, okay, that If I said, hand me that piano, and you heard that, somebody just handed me a piano, didn't they?
Actually, I never thought of it, but he's right.
That kind of takes back to the Firesign Theater.
Yes, it does.
Remember that?
Yeah. Yes, it does. I was taking a real estate
Jeff,
course.
he wasn't born yet, so we can have a conversation about it.
I'm older than I look.
I was taking a real estate course about 10 years ago, and on the way home, they had the CBS was doing the Macabre Theater. It was short-lived, but it was only about an hour long. But I would get out at 10 o'clock, and I used to drive around town until it was over because it was so much fun just listening to it. Really, I was having a ball.
Radio does have that gift. Yeah, I mean, TV, I love TV. I mean, and obviously that's why I'm here, being a ham and with all, you know.
But we got involved in crazy stuff. Anything that I could think of that was funny. Like, they do balloons over Bristol every year, Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, right.
We used to broadcast live from the balloons.
Oh, right.
You know, yeah. And people, we had people filming us.
Anyone ever fall out of the balloon? Ah, you know.
When the B-17 and the B-24, the 2 World War II bombers landed at Oxford Airport, we flew out of here on the B-17. We did a live remote from the B-17.
Wow, that must have been something.
Oh, that was wild. That was wild. But, you know, crazy stuff. I love that because people enjoy people having fun. I don't care if it's on television, if it's on the radio. If you're having fun and having a good time, people listen because they enjoy it.
Yeah.
They may not be able to get out and do it, so they're having fun through you.
Living vicariously through the adventures of others.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it works. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure over the years you've had some really funny things happen that maybe you didn't plan on. Unexpected things.
Yes. Yes.
Anything that you can tell on the air? Without getting us thrown off of it?
Well, I did it. Well, you know the business about sweating. You know, don't sweat.
Yeah.
I did a show for an organization, business organization, that asked me to do a show. They were sponsoring a big seminar in the area. And, you know, the show went very nice. And then all of a sudden, it was like I told one story that was a little off color. And like the boss just clammed right up. And like everybody else there was just... And I thought it was the worst show that I had ever done. I felt real bad about it, okay? Yeah. And I met a fella about 2 years ago and said, I saw you at, you know, the show. And I said, God, that was one of the worst things I ever did. He said, I was hysterical. I said, why didn't you laugh? He says, I was, but he says, the boss wasn't laughing. So the rest of us thought it was a riot, but we couldn't laugh because he wasn't. But it's funny because audiences, yeah, it's true. Audiences
Laughter's contagious, I guess if you, yeah, okay.
Audiences, yeah, it's strange how it works. If you have a friendly audience, in other words, everybody knows each other, if it's male and female together, okay, and they're very at home with each other, you can do, you know, a lot, you can have a lot of fun, and almost anything will go. You can get a mixed group that people don't know each other, okay? Right. And you have to be very careful because this guy may think it's funny, but this one doesn't. So if this one laughs, then these people are going to think that there's something strange. So you have to like test each time you do a show. It's a test.
Now, we need to take a break, but when we come back from the commercial, could you tell us a funny story?
I'm sure we can think of something.
I'm sure you can. We're going to be back after a quick commercial break with Vinnie Banda. That long shot.
What a wild crowd you have here.
Where do they have that camera? That's a skyhook camera.
It is. It is. I can't figure out which camera is getting that angle.
You'll never know.
And I never, that's right, and everyone knows. 6 minutes. Chris,
Oh.
6 fingers.
6 minutes.
I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. Plus an extra one for me, yes. Yes, one for the star, yes. Now, you're going to tell us a funny story.
Yes, you want to hear a funny?
Because you're noted as a storyteller.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. One of my favorite comedians, of course, has passed away now, but Red Fox used to do some great comedy routines. And one of his funniest stories that I used to enjoy, I love to tell. Two brothers were at the train station, and they're waiting for the train, and one said to the other one, he said, look, say, do me a favor. When I gotta go to the bathroom. Now, if the train comes, you holler for me, okay? He said, yeah, sure. No problem. Go ahead. I watch for you. Well, about 10 minutes goes by. All of a sudden, he hears this blood-curdling scream come from the men's room. He goes running in there, and the lights are off. He says, what the hell's the matter, Jew? You ain't afraid of the boogeyman, is you? He said, hell no. I just flushed the handle on this here toilet and likely killed myself. He flips the button on, he turned around, he says, no wonder you dummy. You're sitting on the mop bucket.
You know, the visual imagery.
You will never look at a mop bucket from now on with a straight face. That's the beauty of it.
And I will stay 2 more steps away from it than I normally would. Yeah.
Or you may look at it fondly. However.
I'll be right out, dear. I'm going to the men's room.
Yeah, take care of some business. Now, do you have anything? You're and you don't know how badly.
Your do is holding up well, by the way. I just want
My do is, yes, the do is, yes, thank you. Thank you so much. My hairstylist would be happy to know that. She's holding up 5 fingers. Is there an extra one this time? Yes.
You're still #1 in her book. Did you see that?
We should drag her out here.
Yes, Christy McBennett. She has been trying for the last 2 months to get me up here.
And now she's disappeared, suddenly.
Oh, sure. That's all right, Christy.
You want to tell another story? Maybe.
Would you like to hear another
Can I con another story out of you?
In a minute. Let's
okay. Let's talk about upcoming projects. Let's talk about things that you're going to be doing.
Yes. Okay. About 6 months ago, I was asked to do a voiceover for a commercial for the Valley Chordsmen, which is a barbershop chorus in Naugatuck. And I went down there to do the voiceover, just to learn more about the group and you know what it is they were trying to promote and everything. And I fell in love with it. So I ended up joining. It's a barbershop chorus, about 50 guys, 4-part harmony. Super. And they'll be doing a show at the Thomaston Opera House, I think, April 24th.
Okay.
So I'll be appearing with them.
You think maybe we could probably ask them if they'd be interested in coming on this show?
Oh, I'm sure the guys would love to come on the show.
And I could sit behind them and pretend to sing. Now she's holding up 3. Count them 3. Yes. Yes. Don't put down 2 of them, okay? Back in the booth. She's a good producer. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bob's doing good with that camera. All right, Bob. I like that. Okay.
Okay. What, got time for a quickie story?
Quickie story. Okay, cute story. This drunk stares into this bar, see? And he says the bartender, hey, excuse me, is that a dartboard up on the wall? Bartender says, yeah, that's a dartboard. Why? He says, you know, I always want to throw a dart. He said, look, buddy, would you let me throw just one dart, and then I'll go, I promise. He says, look, in the condition you're in, you're liable to stick somebody in the side of the head. He says, go on, get the hell out of here, will you? He says, look, I don't want to start no trouble. Just throw one dart, and then I'll go, I promise. So the bartender thinks about it for a second. He says, all right, one dart and you're out of here, right? He says, that's it, I promise. Gives him the dart, the guy stands there for a second, he goes, holy jeez, I threw a bullseye. Can I get a prize or something? Bartender says, yeah, jeez. Hold on a minute. He starts walking up and down a bar trying to find something to get rid of this idiot. About 10 minutes goes by, he can't find anything. Finally, he remembers earlier that morning, he found a turtle walking across the parking lot, and he put it in a shoebox to give it to his son. He says, here you go, buddy, congratulations. Guy tucks the box under his arm, he says, hey, thanks a lot, pal. Out he goes. 4 months later, boom, the doors fly open on the bar. Same guy comes flying through the doors. He says, hey, you remember me? He says, yeah, you're the guy with the dart, right? He says, yeah, I was just a neighbor that thought I'd throw another dart. He's like, one dart and you're out of here, right? He says, that's it, I promise. Grabs the dart. Phew. Holy jeez, I threw another bullseye. Can I get another prize this time? Yeah. He starts looking up and down the bar, trying to find something. Can't find anything. He says, by the way, he says, I don't remember. What'd you win the last time anyway? He says, oh, well, last time I won a roast beef on a hard roll.
Vinnie, Banda, thank you so much for coming. And I want to hear more stories from...
Kind of a box lunch, wasn't it?
Yes. Jerry Prell, thank you again for coming on.
Tell them the phone number.
Yes, we'll tell the phone number. Domestic Chaos, which is going to be produced by the New England Actors Theater. The phone number is 458-7671. And a plug I forgot last week, don't you dare go to credits until I say this, is I Hate Hamlet, opening at the Clockwork Repertory Theater in Oakville on April 16th. A lot of very talented people there, one of whom I happen to be very fond of. So make sure you go. It's going to be a great show. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Next week's guests are going to be Sharon Dante from the Nutmeg Ballet, Tom Edwards talking about his experience with Charlie Daniels Band, and WSNG